I will use either this or this color.
Look at my nails. Sorry. Okay, new try. I just have to take the nail polish off.
Okay, narrator taking over. I checked a reference picture from Pixabay and I will be doing a monochrome portrait painting. So let's get the time lapse started. I will be doing this with this blue color from my Deep Light palette, starting with the darker areas on the background first, and then I'm next moving to the darker hair that she has. So the reference has very bright lights on the left side of the face, mostly hitting the left side, cheeks and forehead, and then also a bit hit the chin and also nose. But I'm first starting now some darker areas and defining shapes here and there. I'm not yet going that dark or as dark it will be in the end. So now I'm starting to put the lips there. I also defined the eye areas, and I didn't have any sketch at all when I started, and I'm sitting down, so in a while you will notice that the picture is quite narrow. Maybe the areas are not the correct size everywhere. The proportions are a bit off, so I will be then doing some lifting and fixing in the end as well, so you will also see a bit of corrections afterwards. But as mentioned, no sketch, so it won't be anyway exactly as the reference, but what drew me to that reference picture was the nice lights on the face and the shadow areas. So now I'm redefining or darkening the hair areas and also defining the hair, the ear there a bit, and then reworking or doing the mouth area and then chin, jaw area as well. And then the dark areas around the nose, nostrils, working around here and there everywhere. And there I tilted the image so I saw a bit better on the actual paper what it looks like, because I'm sitting down, so I have a bit distorted view of the picture, which is of course not great. I should have tilted the desk I have. Or I sometimes just stand up and paint while standing, but it's not that good for the neck. Again, doing some checking and working on the detail areas. I'm not yet tackling the problem areas because I will be then anyway doing the darker shadow areas. So when I'm doing those darkening shadow areas, I can also then do some fixing on the proportions. Defining the lips and eyes, and then working on the right side. I don't want to be doing exact sharp lines everywhere, so I will be blending a bit on that right side with the background. Now I'm cleaning and redoing the eye area. I felt that there was too much dark and then I had lost the highlight in the eye. You could be also fixing that with white gouache afterwards if you happen to go over the white of the paper, but of course it won't be as bright as the original paper without any pigment would have been. Now I'm starting to add the dark areas and cleaning up a bit of the highlights back, finding some details or areas around the eyes. Back to the nose. Now I'm doing the shadow areas on the right side of the face. So the light was hitting quite darkly on the sorry, rightly on the left side. It's not yet there with the shadow areas. And I also added a text regarding the situation and distortion. As you can see, I didn't exactly have a clear plan what to do here and there. I usually quite intuitively just work around the piece here and there, and of course you also have to consider that some areas are wet. You just have to jump over to another area and continue unless you are using a hair dryer to dry the areas. So that's also why it might seem that I'm going all over the place. And I also edited away the hair drying sections. I guess I could add markings that now I had a drying time, so it would make a bit more sense also as a viewer, that how am I going back to some area, although I just worked on it and it's not even smudging. Now back to working on the lips, lifting some areas there not being as dark, and then same in the nose area, and then I think I'm doing a darker areas or details now in the eyes, and then lifting highlights to the iris area. Then I'm cleaning a little marking there for the earring, and now I'm starting to finally fix a bit on the chin area, maybe a bit too much at this point, and then also on the left side of the face a bit more skin there, rechecking there. Still need to fix a bit, so I'm basically just lifting the pigment off, and then when it's fully dry I can then do the dark areas again to the background to make the edges back as more sharper. Now I'm again checking the proportions, and unfortunately I took the paper to my hand, so it's now on the edge where I'm painting, not that visible for a moment. Then I'm getting back to the neck area, darkening, checking the overall values, not defining otherwise the neck. Then I'm reworking now the chin area, so I'm basically on purpose now lifting the pigment as well from the jaw, so I can then blend it over again so there's no harsh edges forming up. Then cleaning some dark areas on the left side out from the face, and then also the chin. Now we are almost ready, so I'm still doing a bit more darkening. It's not as dark in the reference picture, so I have a bit more light coming to the right side of the face as well. It should be a bit darker than in the reference, but you do how you see best. We are not meant to be just copying a reference, make it better in a way that you seem would be good in a piece. Now just doing slight retouching on the left side of the face. Light shadows or forms, not just white flat. Still fine-tuning the chin and jaw. Just last minute details and working around the piece. I could be doing that quite long, so at some point you just have to decide it's good enough. It's not supposed to be perfect piece. With this one I managed to stop in good time. So here's the final monochrome single color portrait.